I want to take a look at how we can use AI to help write better emails, specifically emails that require the recipient to do something. So, first off, where are we starting from? And I don't know about you, but I have gotten emails many times where I skim it and I still don't have any idea what I'm supposed to do. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We don't want to make it too hard for people to do what we're asking them to do. I wanted to see if AI could help me get action. And I did a little test. I sent out emails inviting people to register for workshops. And in the fall, I sent out an email like this. I thought it was okay. It was clear in the subject that I was inviting people to register for something. There was a little bit of information there about what the topics were, the links to register, and the bottom had the list of workshops for more details. So, in working with AI, I crafted a different version for upcoming workshops, and it was small differences, but enough differences that this version performed 70% better. This version got so much more registrations. In fact, in just 2 days, this version got 70% more registrations than the original. So I think it's onto something. Let's take a look at what I did. So I'm going to use Gemini for this, which is the Google AI at gemini.google.com. You might have to use this in a personal account if your work account doesn't allow it. And rather than just asking it to write an email, I am going to start off with just some general tips. So what are some general tips to write better emails? And I think I can have typos and it'll still understand, but we'll fix that. Okay, so we got some tips that boil down to knowing your audience and who you're writing to, defining a goal, making sure you know what the goal of your message is and that's clear, and your subject, and that you start strong and continue making that goal clear. And while it's strong, you also want to be concise and proofread to make sure your message is accurate and professional. Let's add another note. We're talking today about how to make an email that requires people to do something. They have to act on it somehow. So how do we tweak these tips for that? So let's add that note in here. What if the email requires recipients to take an action? What additional tips? So when we need people to act on our email, we need to make sure the call to action, or CTA, is clear and specific. And back from the previous suggestions, it should be in the subject and right at the top of the email. If applicable, deadlines are really important to add too. So with those tips in mind, let's see what AI does if I just ask it to write an email for me. Let's try asking it to write an email, asking people to register for technology workshops. So here we have a subject that talks about what people need to do. They need to register, and the topic they're doing is leveling up their tech skills. So as I look through this email that AI wrote, I don't like how it takes a while for it to get to the point here. This first paragraph doesn't actually say register. Here's an AI tip. Instead of asking it to rewrite the whole email, I'm going to try to have it help me with one piece at a time. So instead of asking it to rewrite the whole email, I pulled out that opening section that I wanted rewritten and asked it to tweak just that. And I got these two options there. I like the first one, boost your digital skills. So at this point, I'm going to copy out what I have here into, an email or a Google Doc so that I can work on it. And there's actually this cool way you can make a Google Doc when you're in Gemini. Click here and export to docs, and it's going to automatically create a doc from this part of the conversation. So here's what I have so far. And this is, I feel like it's a lot of bold right now. So I'm going to take out this workshop in 3 days that's mentioned twice. Actually, let's see if AI thinks this should go at the top or the bottom. So AI is suggesting we keep it at the top to help get that sense of urgency at the top of the email. I could put it in the bottom as well in case they missed it, but it looks like keeping it at the top is their suggestion. Yeah, I don't like having that twice. It feels like a lot of bold. It feels almost scammy, too much urgency. So I'm going to get rid of And I don't miss out feels again a little bit too much. So I'm going to say register to join us and make this unbold. And so the word register would be that hyperlink. Okay, I definitely think it's a good idea to have the link at the bottom also. So let's ask the best way to incorporate that. We have some suggestions here. Register button. We don't really have a way to make a button in the email, so it'll have to just be a link. We might do something like this. Register here and that right after we look forward to here. And we will make this a link. Best regards feels kind of stuffy for the tone that I have set up in this, so I'm going to ask for other ways to close it. Okay, so if we want to have a little different tone, the see you there seems to fit the tone we've been going with and some of the wording, so we'll go ahead and use that. This is we've got seeing you there twice now. That's a little bit too much. So maybe what we do is we switch the order here so we don't have too many seeings right in a row. And then we have that as our closing. All right, so we have created an email that if we go back and compare to our original, it's definitely got a more clear subject. Oh, actually our subject changed here. Register. I definitely want what they need to do right in that email subject. Register for workshops starting in 3 days. Maybe we'll try that. Let's see what they think about this subject. Okay, so we got some good feedback on that subject. It has a clear call to action. It shows the benefits of taking that action, and there's a little bit of urgency. So we'll go with that. All right, so we used AI to create a better email. We worked in pieces. We focused on our subject and making sure we started really strong from the start. We had clear call to actions. We repeated it a few times, and we ordered things to work best for getting people to register. I hope it was helpful.